The
All
problem
right,
is I've
bot
heard.
fans, welcome back to another edition of Red Square, Blue Square. We did it so well last time, we decided why not do it again? And this is still your go-to for Battlebots recap and reaction. And I have two amazing guests this week, not just by popular demand, but by my own want and desire that I had to get them on for the second episode. And once again, Blue Square or Red Square, Blue Square is brought to you by the F.A.N Show Robotics Division. So without further ado or any more delay, in the Red Square, she's the most fierce bunny since Snowball of The Secret Life of Pets. It is Adrian Bunny Sauriol. Welcome, Bunny. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
And in the Blue Square, you love him already, and it only took one episode. He is Dave Eaton, Rusty. Welcome. How you doing?
Very good. Thank you for having me, Richard. It's great to be here.
So I got this for a birthday present from my mother. It's a full light tech beard kit. I feel like this episode could be sponsored by that. So if you haven't made your Christmas list yet, I would suggest it. It's got the whole kit and caboodle, a nice brush. And I got to know, first and foremost, how many times have you been mistaken for Zach Galifianakis?
Zach Galifianakis? I haven't been. Oh man, the last time I was mistaken for a celebrity was it? No, it was Capote. But no, Zach Galifianakis. No, I haven't had that one yet. Not yet. No.
You are a celebrity now, David.
I know he's going to be mistaken for me.
Yes, exactly.
I'll admit I was surprised I hadn't seen tweets yet of people saying, "Holy crap, the guy from The Hangover is fighting robots now. Have you seen this?"
Oh, evidently. What's this over here? See, we're having mechanical failures already. I think my light bulb just went out. What are the odds of it happening right now?
It's okay, you're bright enough on your own.
Yeah, right. you shine brighter than the bulb that was illuminating you. I see just fine, so you're good there.
Oh,
but also, I couldn't help but notice your choice of attire in episode 1. How frequently do you get asked where the paper towels are in your local grocery store? Because you look like Bronny, the paper towel man.
Every so often, I guess, maybe a lot of times that I'm walking around, I'm not smiling as much. I'm more like, so people are less likely to engage me. But no, I get that all the time. They're like, "You really rocking the lumberjack look. Are you doing that intentionally?" And I'm like, "I just shop at Menards and Farm and Fleet. That's all."
All right. Well, we've got a few things to unpack from a very well done episode 2. Once again, there were only 7 fights this time, and majority were knockouts. Only 2 were by split decision, and they were very, very close. We have no bias here whatsoever on Red Square, Blue Square, as far as who we believe the decision should go to. We call it right down the middle as well, and we keep it real. But you guys 1-0, but very different lives, very different perspectives. There we go, in the battle box. Bunny, first to you. I mean, 1-0 as a captain, your journey to being a captain. We got kind of a clip, a snippet of the emotion in episode 1, but how has it felt looking back at the whole season and just being able to say that you were 1-0 as a captain, your first fight?
Oh gosh, it was so many years coming, and so finally having it happen so well, and so exactly what it was supposed to do. Like, having any robot do what it's supposed to do is so exciting on its own, but having a robot do what it's supposed to do after so many years of trying is just the best in the whole world.
Yeah, it was emotion well-deserved. You and I have been friends for a while now, and I've been keeping up with you, and I know that you are a person that has so much passion, desire, and ideas, and you just thrive on enthusiasm, and it all just came spiraling out, when you guys got the knockout victory, which not only 1-0, not only your first fight, but also a knockout. I mean, it's just, you kind of got the trifecta right there out of the way early. So hopefully it's the sign of a long, prosperous season for you. And Dave, though, you are brand new to the world of combat robotics and BattleBots. You are 1-0 also with one of the most, I don't know if unconventional is the right word, but just out of the ordinary bot designs we've ever seen, but America loves it. What was it like for you in your first fight and now being 1-0?
You know, I got a lot of the same emotions and sentiments that Bunny said. It was a journey. It was a long trek. There was a lot of ups and downs. And honestly, you go out there and actually see, you know, like when Rusty took off and I drove him into that wall, I was like, wow, he's moving. I did drive into a wall, but he's moving, you know? So it was phenomenal. And then, I mean, let's be honest, everybody noticed it, but when I was on my side, I was like, come on, buddy, now's the time. We've practiced this. You can do it. When he hopped up off the floor, I was like, oh, yes, something worked. So, I mean, it was just a constant rush. It was like, you know, you've been building the dam and the dam's broke and it's just a flood. And I mean, it was intense and it was nonstop and it was awesome to get that first win. I did feel a little bad, but it was still awesome to get that first win. I was going to ask you, Bunny, did you feel a little bad when you like blew X backwards apart? I mean,
no,
yes.
I have no mercy in the. I'm very clear that we're like in the battle box, we're not friends. Like outside, I'm friends with everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But, like in the battle box, I'm not friends with anyone. There's no way you can control it. Like you don't feel bad at all because you have all these emotions like of your own. You can't feel bad for anyone else.
I certainly appreciate your honesty. I think that is beautiful because you're right. You know, the times I've been down there, you guys are so cordial to each other in the pits, and there are some rivalries. Like there's some. I don't want to go so far as to say bad blood because everybody in that pit area kind of gets it, right? You guys are all very professional when it comes to conducting yourselves around each other. But yeah, I mean, when the lights go down and you hit the red button and the blue button like that can all be checked at the door for the moment, or at the tunnel, I guess, if you want to say that. But Bunny, I really hope we get you and of course Martin Mason of Mad Catter, because I feel like the trash talk going up to that fight would be probably content worthy in an episode all its own. But you guys,
you know, I learned it from him. That's where I learned all this from.
I gotta ask a couple of things here as far as Dave and your beard. Obviously, I'm a fan of facial hair, but did Farouk ever give you any grooming tips? Because he's had the strongest beard game in the world of Battlebots since I've been covering it, and now I feel like there's this fight for the top of the mountain, and I don't know whose beard would win between yours and his.
David would win.
Have you seen how it looks like it's carved like by Michelangelo? It's perfect. Every time I saw him, I was like, I want to come over there, Farouk, and ask you how do you do it? Because it's like mine's like all over the place, and it's like growing out weird places, like long ones over here, and Farouk's was just like pristine. And it was beautiful, and it was always beautiful. And I was like, man,
yours is the rusty of beards. Everyone likes it because it's so cute, and it's imperfections is what makes it perfect.
Rough around the edges, huh?
Yes.
So this isn't the result of a quarantine and not having access to like a barber or a stylist like that. That's your look.
You just gotta let it go. That's the trick. You just let it go. And if people are like, your beard looks bad, you're like, no, it doesn't. It looks great. And they're like, you know what? You're right. It looks good. You know, you just let it go. If you're confident, right? I mean, just let it go. And let's be real. If I shave my beard too, I look so young. I look so young without my beard, which I'm not saying that to be like, I'm so young and beautiful. But I actually used to work in the mining industry too. And this might sound funny, but if I rolled on the site as an engineer with no beard, they're like, who's this kid? When I roll in with the beard, they're like, oh, okay, this guy. And I'm like, yeah, hey, you know, it kind of works.
I like how your voice went deeper.
Right? Hey, guys, how's it going? You know?
I think the next BattleBots calendar could easily just be 12 different poses by you, Dave, and different outfits. Obviously, December, a trapper hat. I have one of my own here. But
got to do the sparkle beard one for December.
Yeah, sparkle beard. I mean, you can get some swim trunks and flippy floppies for July. I don't know, but there's a lot of marketing and money to be made here off the expressions and just the look that is Dave Eaton. All right, so let's take a look at this card from episode 2. And viewers, if you have not seen it yet, stop what you're doing immediately and go watch it, and then come back and watch the rest of a great episode of Red Square, Blue Square. And also, if you're watching this and you haven't seen it yet, I'm not sure if you're a true BattleBots fan, because usually you guys are just on that stuff. So anyway, fight card number 2. like I said, 7 fights this time, not 8, but 5 knockouts, 2 by split decision. Shatter over Ghost Raptor was a knockout. And let me start this by saying that if you told me 2020 BattleBot season, before all the craziness of 2020, that Shatter, Ribot, and Mad Catter were going to be 1-0, and Whiplash, Tombstone, and Captain Shredderator would be 0-1, I'd say, like, what was this, one of those live Vegas fights again where they didn't have time to go back to the pits? Like, what? But only in 2020. Like, this is crazy. Bunny, from your experience, Shatter has one of those weapons that you have to time it so perfectly, and they really have come a long way, especially against a veteran like Ghost Raptor. How hard is it to get that timing down?
Oh, it's incredibly hard. And also, they didn't have their normal weapon operator this year because of COVID. So Paul, normally their weapon operator is Eric Wrigley, brother of Adam Wrigley, the captain. But this year they had Paul, so it was his first time ever swinging that hammer. And then having such a fast robot like Ghost Raptor, the timing is nearly impossible, But look at how many great hits he got. He did so good for his first time.
It was a solid win, and people can say, well, Ghost Raptor hasn't been competing for like 2 years, but this isn't your normal sport where an athlete has to go through the motions again and shake off the cobwebs. Like, you're in it, and you're right back in it. Like, it's more on the bot and you're driving than you and being physically fit and conditioned well. Dave, your weapon is similar. So how much, when you were practicing the driving of your bot and then even in the pit area and going through everything, did you practice the timing, especially after fight number 1?
None. I mean, I have a couple times. I'm trying to think. I let it out the other day on Behind the Bots, but I did not have a lot of driving time behind Rusty. And what's really tough with the weapons, with hammer bots in general, but anything like you said that swings, is it's one thing, true, if your hammer comes in quick and stuff and you have a quick reaction time, that helps. But typically there's a slight delay between obviously the controller and the receiver, and then by the time it gets through and your weapon does its thing, that slight delay, you almost have to like predict where the other robot's going to be if they're still moving around. And that is incredibly hard.
Fair enough. All right. Ribot Tracer. I didn't know what to expect from this one. Ribot got the knockout. Of course, they were a bot, I guess you could call, on the rise last year. They had sort of the blessing and the vouch of Leanne Cushing. She said this team is going to really do a lot of great things. And of course, her and Team Valkyrie, they know what they're doing, to say the very least. So I love that you guys can vouch for each other like that and say, hey, this team or these kids or these guys, we've got a range now of 11 to like 65 or however old of competitors, and it's the craziest thing. You'll only see it in the world like BattleBots. Black Dragon and Kraken was the split decision, 1 of 2 that night. And I got to say, the new scoring, there's a few differences, but I don't know if I saw what the judges saw when it came to how this was scored. And I think this might be the first time in history that I've ever watched an episode and heard booing, audible booing, and it wasn't fans in the audience this time. It's teams, and they kind of know a thing or two about the scoring card and the fight card. So Dave, we'll start with you. I don't know if you were in the audience to see the fight up close, but as far as your experience with the scorecard and everything, how do you feel about these split decisions?
As I was watching the episode, and I was like, this is like Kraken game of 2020. When I watch the fight, I look at it in a few ways. I'm like, I always look at aggression, actually, a lot of times, as being the split decider. If you have one bot that obviously has the damage and one bot that obviously has control, then I'm like, okay, it comes down to me to aggression. Which bot was constantly attacking and going after the other bot? Now, with the Kraken fight, what I saw was there was damage between both the bots, but I would give it to Black Dragon. I would favor them with the damage. However, as far as aggression and control, I would have largely, I should say overwhelmingly, given those to Kraken, and that's where I would have made the decider. Kraken won the aggression, they won the control, and so to me, Kraken won the match.
Yeah, and I felt that way too, and not just because Matt Spurg is a good friend of mine who's in my fantasy football league, but I'm watching this, and I know the card and I know that it's changed a little bit, but I'm thinking, okay, if you're a control bot, there's not going to be a lot of damage. So you kind of have to play to your strengths, which are now not one, but two, which is control and then aggression. Like you have to really get in there and show the judges, hey, like I'm not just going to duck this guy and try to use the box to my advantage. Like I want to be in the fight. So Bunny, for you and I kind of felt the same. What specifically changed on the fight card? Like which is worth more now? And then did you agree with the decision?
I absolutely did not agree with the decision. I am so for judges. I'm like, okay, if the judges say so, they're the judges. Like I'm one of those people, like I don't argue with the judges ever. But I'm with you. Like I think this one, I didn't agree with it at all. And I love judges. Like I'm normally like, if that's what the judges say, yay, good judges. But not this one. Like Kraken, like the only reason that I can see that Black Dragon won at all is because they did damage Kraken's primary weapon. And for Battlebots, the primary weapon is so important. So because Kraken couldn't crush, I think that's the only reason they won.
Yeah, I think they said, and I meant to write it down, I didn't, but I think it's that control is not worth as much as it used to be anymore. Like it's still worth points, obviously, because it's on the card. But
it should have been 6-5 because damage is only worth 5 and control and aggression are 6.
You know, sometimes I worry about BattleBots and the direction that trends that you see in certain sports. Obviously, vertical and horizontal, just spinners in general, you've seen a lot of those. Well, why? Because they're effective. But, you can't take away what made BattleBots great, even on the Comedy Central days, which was, the gimmick bots. And there was a lot of those. And I think that Kraken, and bless Matt Spurk and his family for trying to make this make gimmick bots great again. But I think they deserved a little bit more credit than they got. But it's a long season, so we'll see what the future holds for Kraken. I still think it's a great start for them, even if it was a loss. What?
I love gimmick bots. Hence Vex.
Who doesn't? I love gimmick bots too. Mammoth and Huge, I think everything we expected it to be. Two gigantic bots in that battle box, and then for it to end the way that it did, knockout because Huge got hung up. Couldn't have gone better for Mammoth and Ricky Willems and company. I think that they're really onto something. They're a team that I like because they are one of those gimmicky teams, but they're also making it look so good. And they're just wanting to change up the game. So I'm glad that they were able to fit the bots inside the box, and we were able to have more than just like sumo wrestling BattleBot style. I mean, it was a very entertaining fight. So good for those two teams. Yeah, Claw Viper and Hijinks. I had some high hopes for Hijinks. Didn't know much about Claw Viper, but I think they both have pretty promising futures there. Claw Viper getting the win by knockout. Not sure what's going on with Hijinks, but if I know Jen well enough, I think she'll get it figured out and come back better than ever for the next fight. Perfect Phoenix and Extinguisher. We have an 11-year-old named Tyler Wynn, and he is now 1-0, which, what am I doing with my life? if an 11-year-old already has one of those winner's tokens and I don't. But it's Extinguisher. That was very disappointing to see it end the way that it did. So you hope that both of them can come back. I think Tyler clearly has a very, very promising future as a combat robotics driver, captain, whatever he wants to do. Very bright. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And now the main event, Hydra and Witch Doctor. Very entertaining fight. Probably the best non-knockout fight that we've seen so far. But split decision on this one, again, I was a little thrown off. Now, the decision did go the way that I thought it should, but when they said we have a split decision, I was like, excuse me? Like, what is going on here? Bunny, when you saw that fight, were you surprised it didn't go to knockout? And then, obviously, your reaction to when they said it was a split decision.
Well, they did very clearly say that crab walking would be very highly, either very quickly counted out or highly counted against you at the start of the competition. They did say that. So crab walking at the end there, I can see why it would have been a split decision because because he got caught in the blue square, even though I think it was I don't think it was his drive issue. I think he had like a magnet or something to get caught. But they did say that would be like not okay this year. So I do know why it was a split decision. I think that it absolutely was the correct decision.
Dave, what do you think of Hydra?
To have Hydra. Hydra's actually, when I first saw Hydra, loved the bot and I loved the layout and I loved the design. And honestly, going through that fight, for me, what was interesting, and I kind of agree with Bunny, is that I kind of a tough spot, because to me it is a big decider that even if it's towards the end of the fight, if a bot is crab walking or is losing mobility, that to me is a big negative. However, Witch Doctor had so much damage, was smoking the whole fight, had all kinds of issues. Hydra had the control, they had, to me, the aggression, they had the damage. I agree with the decision. But again, at the very end of that fight, what impressed me the most about Hydra was Hydra took some really big hits. I mean, some really big hits. I think a lot of people think that Hydra's not that well built. I shouldn't say well built. I should say tanky. They don't think it has a lot of armor. If these spinners and stuff can get at them, they're going to get hit a couple times and be out. But Hydra really didn't. They took some big hits, and they kept going right back at Witch Doctor, and that's what really impressed me.
Now, you could clearly see that there was damage being done to Witch Doctor when it started smoking, and each bot is about 250 pounds, so when you get flipped in the air, however high, it's 250 pounds coming down on itself. But my problem with flippers has always been that unless they flip you over the wall for a knockout, or they flip a bot that cannot self-right, it's hard to see the damage they're doing other than just flipping them. And I know Bronco has had that issue a few times, and a couple other flipper bots like Sub-Zero. So is flipper bot more fun to watch just because of the flips, or is it actually, an effective bot still?
I'm very biased. Flippers are my favorite kind of robot. The very first Battlebot I ever saw was Toro from Team Inertial Labs. So I think flipper bots are like peak wonderful. So you should definitely talk to Dave about this question.
Dave, what do you think about flipper bots?
I also am a flipper bot fan, big Bronco fan. Here's my take on flipper bots. I also look at flipper bots. Sorry, I'm having a mouth malfunction. Flipper bots, I kind of look at them as a control bot too, in a way. If you watch Hydra, once he had, if they can get that good first flip, there's a high possibility that they're going to be able to keep their opponent on the ropes the whole match. Even if you watch some of like Bronco's more dominant matches, when they do get that first flip, they shoot him up in the air and they're like, all right, come down, I'm ready for you. They can get right next to him, wait for him to hit the floor. And unless they land on their feet or have a really quick self-righting mechanism, that flipper just keeps launching them and launching them. And I do think that it does do damage. Again, it's harder to see damage when it is bending or something like that. It's not
like
as apparent as right, or is like getting ripped open like a spinner does, right? So you see the spinner rip open Scorpios. Well, you see them rip them open, and you're like, whoa, But again, you don't see the damage as much. But I don't know. I think they're effective simply because they do damage. They do break down other robots. I mean, look at what happened to Witch Doctor, and they have that control measure. So, especially because a lot of times they can keep working them. I mean, Witch Doctor was in the screws. Had the screws gotten jammed or not reversed, he would have had pretty much an arena out.
And now it's time for the kill saws. A couple of questions here for you guys. Real quick, one answer or yes or no. If Chris and Kenny ran for office against each other, who would you vote for? Bunny?
Chris.
Oh. Dave's reaction. Dave, who are you voting for?
No. I mean, come on. There's no third party. There's nothing. I mean, that's it.
You can't throw Farouk in there because obviously he's going to lead the voting because he's Farouk. But you put the two commentary guys against each other.
Chris wore my bunny ears one year. Season 1 of Battlebots, he wore my bunny ears, so he's my favorite.
I hope this doesn't come back. I'm gonna have to go with Kenny then. Kenny.
Wow.
David, you're not one of my Davids anymore.
It's beard love. Bunny, that's all it is. It's beard love. Men with beards appreciate other men with beards.
Right.
Chris had a really good one going during the pandemic. He did, and then he shaved it all off. But Kenny, yeah.
Did?
You didn't see Chris's quarantine beard on IG during the whole lockdown?
We're friends on Facebook. I'm going, where's he at?
It was salt and pepper gray, but it was good. And he's probably going to DM me after he watches this thing if he does. I don't know if he watches my stuff. We'll see. Also, let's see. Who has the best or louder battle cry? Ricky Willems or Jameson Go? Dave.
Jameson Go.
That was a pretty loud one. Yeah, I will admit.
Yeah.
Like, that was intense.
Yeah.
That was an
Beautiful
intense
pipes.
battle cry.
Mm-hmm.
Bunny, you agree?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's Jameson 100%. Sorry, Ricky. I love you, but Jameson's much more intense. He's like that silent intense, and then when it actually comes out, it's like this raging inferno.
I would not want to meet him on the battlefield.
Oh, I fought him. It's
Just
scary.
that war cry. Just that war cry.
All right, and now one specifically for each of you. So first up, Bunny, if Dave's beard and Farouk's beard were to get in a fight, which beard is winning?
I'm so sorry. Farouk's would totally win. He has those sharp edges. He would just dig into you.
Yeah, probably. You're right. When you're right. Hey,
Those sharp edges.
You know how
this cute
Jay
little
Leno
dog,
had the bot
Baby Yoda
Chinchilla?
of beards.
Back in the day, Jay Leno had his own bot. I want somebody to build the Farouk bot that's just got this amazing beard flipper. We need that in the world of BattleBots. All right, Dave, the question for you. Who would win in a trash talk or rap battle between Bunny and Martin Mason of Mad Catter?
Oh, trash talk / rap battle?
Trash talk or rap battle. So a smack talk off or a trash talk off or a rap battle.
Ooh.
I'm sitting.
That's tough.
Here.
I know. I'm on the spot now. What is this? This is like BattleBots all over. You know, I'm gonna have to go
man.
I'm gonna do a split decision. I'm gonna have to go with Bunny for the trash talk, but Mason with that rap battle. I don't know. I don't know. Off the cuff, Mason. He's coming at you. I don't know. He's got that.
He dropped those rhymes.
Mm-hmm. Mad Catter. He's got the rap name. He does.
Yeah,
Malice is kind of a rap name too now that I think about it, though. It's a tough one, but I'm going to stick with what I said.
There is opportunity all over the place for folks like Bunny, you, Dave, obviously, in the 12-month Dave Eaton calendar, and then Martin Mason of Mad Catter. So, Bunny, you sent me some merch that has not got here yet. Otherwise, I would have worn your shirt. But you wanted to do a giveaway of it, and we discussed what that contest would look like, since everybody does and loves and knows the Rusty Shake now. We need to come up with a victory dance for Bunny called the Bunny Hop. So, bot fans, we're going to do this around Christmas time, and we want, we'll let you know in an official post that you can share your videos of what you believe the Bunny Hop victory dance would look like, so that Bunny can use it for the 2021 season.
I like it. The Bunny Hop, the name alone, I love it.
I think something like a Cotton Eye Joe or a
Cotton Eye Joe. What is it good for?
It'll be good, but it's going to be
You're
hard.
gonna dance off next year, David. And
That's what
I
I
win,
want.
You have to join the Davids.
I'm setting up the dance off for the 2021 season between you and
Duel
Dave.
of the Davids. Duel of the Davids. I don't know if you want David's dueling. I'm telling you, I think we're just going to start our own team of Daves. I mean, we'd be unstoppable.
Dave, everybody loves you. It's been an honor to meet you officially for the first time, even if it wasn't in person. It's been a pleasure to have both you and Bunny on the show. And that will do it for episode 2 of Red Square, Blue Square. Thank you so much to my 2 fantastic guests. And to close this one out, bot fans, doing a little bit of the Rusty Shake to get us going into the weekend. So you guys have a good one. And we will see you for episode 3 of Red Square, Blue Square. Good night, everybody.